Newcastle could make a move for Chelsea's Hakim Ziyech. The future of Chelsea winger Hakim Ziyech is expected to look a lot clearer in the coming weeks leading up to January. Ziyech has big chances to leave Chelsea after a turbulent few years at the club. AC Milan had interest in the player, but they are now reportedly looking elsewhere. Milan want a different type of player than Ziyech, but Newcastle may step in on their behalf. The Geordies are looking to bolster their squad, and Ziyech could be a welcome addition. According to Italian journalist Gianluca Di Marzio, Newcastle United could make a move for Hakim Ziyech in January as they look to continue their top four push. Eddie Howe has done a brilliant job with Newcastle thus far and has them fourth in the table above Chelsea. This could make a potential deal tricky. In the past, Chelsea would have sold Ziyech without a second thought to Newcastle, but the Toonami are now a direct rival. Ajax could still swoop in and make a move for their former player, with many Dutch journalists feeling the story between the Moroccan and Ajax still has more pages to be written. Chelsea are currently unlikely to change their mind on Ziyech despite his performances in the World Cup. The winger is expected to be sold, but will it be Newcastle that get him, or his former club Ajax? Barcelona are keeping a close eye on Chelsea's N'Golo Kante. Barcelona are currently keeping an eye on the situation between N'Golo Kante and Chelsea, as Kante comes into the final few months of his contract with the London club. From January, Kante will be able to negotiate a new deal with any club he pleases, and the deal will then be valid to happen when his current Chelsea deal runs out in June. Barca are looking at the free agent market, and N'Golo Kante would be one of the best free agents a club could get. According to Albert Roche, Barcelona are keeping a close eye on the situation between Barcelona and N'Golo Kante as the player comes into the final few months of his contract. Kante is not close to signing a new deal with Chelsea as it stands. Neither party wants to lose one another, but there is a disagreement on the financial side of things that has not yet been resolved. Barcelona are tied financially in the next windows due to financial fair play, and will explore the free agent market. The Chelsea midfielder has interest from other clubs like Juventus and Inter Milan, but does have a preference to stay in London if it is possible. January will be an interesting month with Kante being eligible to negotiate with other clubs. Barcelona could make a move for the French midfielder then to sign him in June, or they could pay a small fee and get the player in January. Chelsea, one of the clubs interested in Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez won Young Player of the Tournament at the World Cup for his performances with Argentina, and if his stocks weren't massive before the tournament, they certainly are now. The Benfica midfielder is the subject of a lot of interest from some top clubs around Europe. Liverpool and Real Madrid are showing interest, but Chelsea are reportedly also interested in his signature. Chelsea have been searching for a new midfielder and they may feel like Fernandez could be the man. According to Record in Portugal, Chelsea are one of the clubs showing an interest in Enzo Fernandez as he looks to sort out his future in the next few months. Benfica will not sell Fernandez for any less than his currently release clause of €120 million, and that is the fee Chelsea will have to pay if they want to get their hands on the Argentina midfielder. Liverpool have been pushing as far as reports in Portugal go, but Real Madrid have also been reported to be in the lead for the player. Fernandez will be on a list for Chelsea which includes Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice. It is a list a lot of the top clubs in Europe will have the exact same names on. No immediate movement from Chelsea but definite interest for the player as it stands. Andrey Santos to Chelsea is now, here we go. Chelsea have completed the signing of Andrey Santos from Vasco da Gama, and Fabrizio Romano has given the deal the infamous, here we go, on his YouTube channel. Reports from Brazil yesterday declared the deal is done, and Romano has today confirmed the news is done. Chelsea have got their man, and he will join the club in January. Chelsea were adamant on completing the deal for Andrey Santos after missing out on Andrey. According to Fabrizio Romano via his YouTube channel, Andrey Santos to Chelsea has now been declared as, here we go. The deal is done and will be announced after a medical and a contract signing. Chelsea are continuing their pursuit of young talent, and Andrey Santos is just another example of what they are trying to build. Santos will cost Chelsea £17.5 million. Vasco da Gama will receive 70% and the player will receive 30% of the money from the deal. The 18-year-old is a central midfielder normally but can also be deployed as a defensive midfielder. Santos chose Chelsea over Manchester City and Newcastle. It is the second deal Chelsea have completed today after the signing of David Datro Fofana from Molde. The club have invested €80 million in young players since Todd Boehly took over. A done deal for Andrey Santos, and it will be announced after the medical and contract signing. Chelsea have completed the signing of Molde forward David Datro Fofana. Chelsea have completed the signing of Molde forward David Datro Fofana. The Molde forward is a Chelsea player now, and all that is left now is for Chelsea and Molde to announce the deal. Fofana has been signed as a player for the future as Chelsea continue to focus on youth, but could still play a part this season considering the situation Chelsea are facing up front at the moment. The deal is done and there is an agreement between all parties. As reported first by Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea have completed the signing of Molde forward David Datro Fofana. The medical will take place today. Chelsea have got their hands on the Ivorian forward. The deal will cost Chelsea €12 million, and while Fofana has been signed as a player for the future, there is a chance he can play a part for Chelsea this season. Armando Broja's injury means the Blues are short up front for the remainder of the season, and while they intend to sign a more experienced striker, Fofana may still get some game time. Fofana is 20 years old today, and has had an impressive season for Molde this year. He will sign for the club in January. Personal terms are agreed, and once the medical is completed, the expectation is that the deal will be announced by Chelsea. Chelsea are willing to go big for Moises Caicedo. Moises Caicedo has slowly become one of the most highly rated midfielders in the Premier League, and with that comes interest from the big clubs. Chelsea may have a huge advantage that the other clubs do not though. Graham Potter was the manager that brought Moises Caicedo into the Premier League, and there is expected to be some loyalty there between player and manager. This could stand to Chelsea in their pursuit of the Ecuador midfielder. According to Fichajes in Spain, Chelsea are ready to spend up to €90 million to sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton. This is likely to be the fee the midfielder will be sold for. Chelsea have long-standing interest in Caicedo, and are expected to be at the table when it is time to bid for him. The Blues are now alone in their interest. Manchester United have been interested in Caicedo for longer than any Premier League club, and the player is likely to be open to a move to the Reds if an offer was to come. Liverpool are also interested in the Brighton midfielder, with Jurgen Klopp keen to bolster his current midfield options. Chelsea have the Graham Potter factor, which may actually work in their favour. Caicedo has spoken about not being able to turn down Chelsea in the past, and it will ultimately be his decision when the time comes.